What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well today. It's Friday again, and I'm trying to do updates with the Red Sea REEFER 350 every Friday for you guys. For the tank today, I have all of my flow off. The only flow I have in here is with the main pump coming from the sump. Everything's kind of dirty in here, but these are lock lines up here, and I have at the end 3D printed random flow generators. It's just kind of twirling the water that's coming in to kind of randomize everything. But with the flow off, all of the anemones are just kind of all puffed up, and it gives you a better look at the coloration of all of the anemones and how they're doing. Like this one right here, he's super bubbled up, and I got a whole cluster right here. They're not as bubbled up, but I think it's 2 or 3 different varieties right in here, maybe even 3, but I kind of lost track of the different strains that I put in here because they all started moving all about within the tank. You know, that cluster is just filling in the entire tank. And on the bottom right here, since the anemones started leaving the bottom, I started putting in the rhodactis mushrooms to kind of get a filler onto the rocks and stuff like that. But if I pan to the left, I got a huge one right here. He's just not splitting, and he's bubbling up pretty good. I think it's the strain from Russell. I think I bought this one off of him for like $100 or something like that. If I go down, it's a rainbow strain. Now this one has split like 4 times, and you could see a whole bunch of them in the back right there. So this one anemone right here, it would just stay at this spot, but it would just rip itself in half, and then the other half would just walk off and at times stay on this huge rock, but other times it would go all underneath the rocks right here and kind of circle around the entire tank until it finds a place to kind of settle down. Pan back. I'm pretty happy with all of the anemones. The mushrooms are doing fine. Right here I have a hairy mushroom in back, and Superman rhodactis mushrooms in front. Torches right here, recovering nicely. They came from the Lagoon 25. This octospawn right here came from the Lagoon 25 also. It looks okay, better than before. All of the fishes, I think they're doing fine, but lately, every now and then, I would spot one of them. I saw this powder blue tang have ick. It kind of like made my heart drop right there when I saw him have ick, but I did not pull him from the tank. All I did was continue feeding him, feeding the tank more, and keeping my UV sterilizer on longer. Now he kind of cleared up, and I don't see any ick on him at all, but I think there's ick like going around in my tank. So a couple of days later, I noticed the big blue tang had a couple spots, and I didn't pull him out either. I just continued feeding. I went out and got another one of these veggie clips. I like it so much that I got a second one, so they don't have to all crowd on one veggie clip. I would just have 2, and then they would feed and go crazy over the seaweed. And I found that just continuing to feed them and running the UV kind of got rid of the ick, but not really. I think the ick is still in the tank, and that if they get stressed out or anything like that, the ick might come back. So I don't know how to approach this for the future. Maybe pull all of the fish out and medicate them and run this tank fallow until the ick is all gone and put them back in, or just kind of continuing to kind of feed them well and keeping the parameters in check so they would have an immune system to fight off the ick. A lot of these guys are just like hiding right now. Let me put some of the seaweed into the tank so you guys can take a look at them. Alright, I got the 2 clips in with the seaweed. One right there and the other one right here. It just kind of spreads them out so they don't all get crowded on one clip. I think two clips are like 30 bucks or 30 something dollars, and then one clip is 16. Now when I saw those prices, I originally thought that it was too expensive and I went for the suction cup clip, but after a while the suction cup kind of sucks, so I caved and I bought a set of these clips, and yeah, I like it so much that I went and bought a third one. So I have 2 in the Red Sea Reefer 350 and 1 in the Lagoon 25. Now back to the fish. So I spotted ick the last couple of days on some of the fish, and then they would clear up within a day or two, and then another fish would get the little spots, and then he would clear up. And then the last one was the big blue tang. She or he had ick for like 1 or 2 days, but was still eating like a pig, so I just kept feeding, and now I don't see any spots on the fish at all. So now come to the conclusion that my tank has ick, and right now, instead of pulling all of them out and medicating all of the fish, we're just gonna go with the method of just maintaining the water parameters to not kind of stress them out and continue feeding them until I have time to set up a quarantine tank to kind of pull off all of the fish to medicate them all, and then let this tank run fallow so we can eradicate the ick. Let me know about your approach to ick and what to do, because I don't know, this time around I didn't really panic and then pull the fish right away. I just saw that the fish was eating, and then I just continued to feed it nutritious food like the nori right here, and doing a couple of water changes to get clean water in here and everything, plus bumping up the UV sterilizer. Fish look okay, but we'll keep monitoring, and I'll report to you guys next Friday or something if it comes back or anything like that. Now, within the last couple of videos, I had a lot of questions with the lights and what are my settings for the lights and everything. I have a video up way back then when I first set up the lights. The settings are the AB plus spectrum. The guys at BRS TV, I guess they have meters and stuff like that, and they set their meters in the tank and kind of found the spectrum that matches the Radeon XR series, their AB plus spectrum, and they figured out how to toggle all of the switches and settings within the AI Prime to get a similar spectrum. And the spectrum really does grow coral, and it does work for anemones and everything like that. I'm very happy with the lighting. It's just 3 pucks, like I said before, kind of underpowered, but what I'm growing in here, it's more than enough. I'm just not happy about certain things like shading and stuff like that, where this Monty cap, I can't get this to focus because there's particles. The Monty cap, yeah, the Monty cap back there, you can see where the shading is, and then wherever it's shaded, I'm getting bleaching effect, but I'm still brainstorming to kind of fix that. I can either break off that bottom piece and kind of frag it up so we won't have a problem with shading, or mess with the lighting and everything. But since the tank is overall doing so well, I kind of almost don't want to mess with the lighting. But yeah, back to the lighting. If you guys want the settings for the AI Prime, I'll put it into the description down below so you guys can have the same settings and everything. My schedule is from 7 to 5. I originally had it from 7 to 7, but in the beginning I had a lot of algae issues and things like that, and I kind of dialed it down a couple of hours, and I never went back and changed it since everything's just working out fine right here. Anyways, guys, tank's doing well, anemone's doing well. They're all plumped up and kind of bubbling. This one right here is like one of the brightest ones in the tank, but at times this one right here is pretty bright as well. But everyone's plumped up because all of my wave makers are off right now. And over here, this guy's just huge. Fish, my GSP, still growing and all fluffy down here. If I trimmed this off right here, everything would look way better, because it'll look like what I envisioned, rocks floating on some grass. It's kind of filling in. You have this little valley right here where it had 2 pieces, and it's growing towards each other, and it's getting narrower and narrower by the day. And you can see right here too, it's getting more narrow and kind of filled out. And I like that look right there, where it's just right near the rock, but it's not on the rock, you know what I'm saying? If it's on the rock, it's pretty much over, because it'll just overtake everything. Hopefully it just stays like this, where once it gets near the shadows, it just kind of stops growing. And the GSP right here, it's just growing, it's growing towards the light. So back here I see it stopping because there's no light, and in front, since there's light, it's just attracted to the light and kind of climbing up the glass. Like I said before, I want to frag this up and start selling it. But yeah, guys, tank's looking healthy, and we're going through little bumps here and there with the ick, and it seems like it's under control if you just feed the fish well with nutritious food and everything. But I'll keep an eye out, and then I'll let you guys know what happens. Right now I don't spot any ick on the fish at all, and for the most part everyone's getting along okay. It's pretty much all I have to update you guys for this week. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.